Today's dream was really weird and interesting. What dream isn't? But what I remember is that I was going through a department store, in the clothing section particularly, and I remember I looked down at the floor, and the floor tiles gave me the impression they were out of a hospital. I had that feeling like I was in a hospital. And it was really interesting because I was walking through the clothing section, something similar out of a JCPenney's or whatever, and I come to this four-way intersection where I could have gone straight, left, right, obviously. And I stopped there for a second, and I'm just kind of looking around, and I see all these clothes that are set up on, when you're in a clothing store. And this lady came up to me, and I didn't recognize her face. I don't know who it was. I still don't know who it was. Probably something I saw on TV, maybe, or maybe somebody I just ran into. And she comes up to me and she says, "I just want to let you know that I'm going to give my life for whoever needs it." And at that very moment she said that, I saw a few people walking around in scrubs. And I saw a doctor. And they were just kind of walking around. And so I said thank you. And I ended up taking a right. I made a right, and then I didn't see her. And I went up to this counter. As I made a right, it ended really fast, and there was a counter there. And there was somebody sitting behind the counter. And I said to them, "I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. Can you help me find my way out of the store?" And they said, "Well," and I'm having trouble remembering exactly what they said, but it was something along the lines of, "You're going to have to wait until the tests are over," something like that. And so I just kind of stood there kind of disappointed, thinking to myself, well, how long is this going to be? Well, so she said, "Why don't you just walk around and I'll page you when you can leave." So I turned around and I started walking, and I walked in the exact opposite direction that I was going. I didn't make another turn. I just went through the intersection. And the same lady that had run into me the first time, she was in a hospital bed, and she had the hospital clothes on. And it was really weird because I passed her. I went around her bed, and she wasn't moving. She was just laying there. And I started hearing what sounded like gasping for air, or I thought to myself, somebody stopped breathing. So I turned around, and I looked at her face, and there was a nurse standing over her with paddles, and they were to her chest. It wasn't like the zip, one of those. The paddles were like on her chest, almost like they were constantly feeding her with something, and that made her lock up. Kind of like she was being charged with electricity. And she just kind of just stopped while these paddles were on her. And suddenly, after the paddles went off, she, came to and just kind of looked up at the nurse, and the nurse said, "I think you're going to be fine." And I could hear her heartbeat. And it wasn't, in my dream, it was a heartbeat, but what it really was, there was a song that was playing while I was sleeping on the radio, and it had this drum. And I don't know what the song was. It was a classical song of some kind, and it had this drum that sounded sort of similar to a heartbeat, not quite, but it had the same kind of dump dump, dump dump, dump dump, and that's what I was hearing in my dream. And I was I was watching her breathe while I was listening to this sound. And the other nurse walks away, and that's right when I woke up and realized that the sound was actually coming from the music that I was listening to. So here again, a really weird dream, and I just had pictures done at Sears for my kids, and that's similar to the department store I think that I was walking through. As far as the counter goes, I don't know how that came to be, but every department store seems to have the counters that are placed kind of randomly everywhere, and you can walk up to them, you can check out, things like that. And I think that's kind of what the counter was to me. I don't know who the lady was. And the hospital, I'm not sure where I got the hospital feeling from. Probably me thinking about my own mortality or something. And then I had those feelings, those deep feelings of being near death when I saw her laying on the table and not breathing, and these things were going through her. So probably it was my unconscious thinking about how I'm going to die, or maybe being fear of death. I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't know, but it could be anything. So anyway, that dream obviously didn't last very long, and this is yet another vlog. And if anybody's watching this and wants to participate in the comments, please do, on your own interpretations or whatever of the dream. But very interesting dream, nonetheless, as most dreams are. So